Hey everybody, we're here. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. It's Alice Howe.
And I'm Freebo. How y'all doing? Hope you're well.
Thanks for tuning in again this week. We are so happy to be back with you and happy to be bringing in one of our absolute favorite guitarists, singers, and songwriters tonight. Do you want to tell them a little bit about Jack?
Yeah, I call Jack Williams an American treasure. I hope that doesn't embarrass you too much, Jack, but you are. You're everything that American music is about, you know, folk, jazz, blues, standards, and rock and roll. And I met Jack at the Kerrville Folk Festival in 2002, so we've known each other for about 18 years, and we spent a lot of time together. We'll talk about that, but Jack is a beautiful songwriter, very unique, and the way he blends the playing of his guitar, the chords, the writing of the song, and the way he sings it, he's totally at one with all three of them. He's totally at one with his guitar. And he's got a very interesting story or stories to tell, so we're looking forward to doing that. Should we bring him in, Alan?
Let's bring him in.
Bring me in.
There
Hey,
you are.
Jack.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
We did it.
how you doing?
I'm doing just great. It's great to be here.
It's great to see you, man.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
joining us. It's really a treat for us to get to share you with the people that we've been joining here every Wednesday night. So thanks for
Well,
coming.
thanks. I'm just sorry I can't be there in the room for
Yeah,
hugs.
me
and-
too. I mean, we
I
spent
know.
so many late nights together and afternoons playing music
Yeah.
together. It's really a shame we have to do it virtually like this, but better than not at all, right?
It is, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. You want to
Jack,
start us off with a song?
Yeah,
What do you think?
could we
Then can
trouble you
talk
for a
little bit.
song?
Yeah. Well, Freebo told me I'm going to play 3 or 4 songs, and then he proceeded to tell me 2 of them that I was going to play. And so I'll play the first song that I almost always play at a concert. I
Excellent.
wrote for my hero, Josh White.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Josh White was a natural man. Held a plug nickel in the palm of his hand. He raised it up like a glass to his eye. What he saw through the nickel made the natural man cry. Lord, 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 this morning made a natural man cry. Then through the nickel a vision arose. He saw an actor in the jungle with a bone in his nose. He saw a maid in an apron with a Hollywood grin. He heard a singer at the back door slamming again. Lord, 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 heard the back door slamming again. High up on the mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song. He never saw the promised land, but he never saw the promised land. So Josh White laid the nickel down. He put his hands in his pockets, strolled into town. He looked to the left and over to the right, but he couldn't find a place to spend his money that night. Lord, 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 he sure want to spend some money tonight. Now he ran to the hotel, dollar in hand, but they wouldn't take a dollar from no colored man. He said, it's getting mighty late, mister, where can I go? He said, well, play me a tune, I'll let you sleep on the floor. Lord, 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 Josh White asleep on the floor. High up on the mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. He never saw the promised land. Now way up yonder, where the angels are found, all the blood from his fingers stained the heavenly ground. There ain't nothing to do but to do what you do, and you do it till they roll a stone over you. Lord, 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 don't let them roll a stone over you. High up on a mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Old Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. High up on the mountain, I heard a cold black angel sing. And I bet a plug nickel if he came back tomorrow, it wouldn't change a goddamn thing. I bet it wouldn't change a goddamn thing. Oh, 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 oh.
Beautiful.
Josh White.
So beautiful. I listened to Josh White a lot with my mom growing up. That's really cool to hear that song. Hey Jack, we have some technical challenges on our end. It has been brought to our attention that it is not on Facebook, which is a travesty and very confusing to me, and is something that I would really like to fix. So, how do you feel about starting over?
What happened?
We don't know. I'm having an issue on my end over here. I mean, the people on YouTube just saw that and enjoyed it very much, and there are 44 of them watching, and we are so happy that they are there.
10 more from the time we first started playing.
Wait, but perhaps it is working. Wait, I'm getting a message from the beyond that maybe it is working. Will you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment?
Okay, I'm happy to. Jack,
I know that I just realized that when I finished the song,
yeah,
my screen had gone completely blank, and I think that must be Judy's computer, and I could neither hear her, and I thought maybe I was out in the universe all by myself somewhere.
Well, sometimes
It was nice out there.
You know, sometimes we are out in the universe all by ourselves. You know.
Oh my God! Wait, they can see us. Oh,
So we're happening.
I just had a freaking heart attack,
Really? Oh,
and then I recovered from it.
So then it worked.
It
Yeah.
worked. They heard that beautiful song. Thank God.
Good. So I
Okay.
don't have to play it again.
No, I mean,
I mean,
you
I could hear that song all night.
By the time I play it again, I might forget it by then.
No, you play it completely differently because you always do. Hey, I want to ask you a couple. There's a lot of people on Norm's guitar channel, on Norm's Rare Guitar. There's a lot of guitar players, a lot of guitar geeks, and
we mean that lovingly.
no, absolutely lovingly. But your style, the check, is that Chet Atkins essentially, and you're a particular hybrid of that?
I'm not a big fan of Chet Atkins.
Now, where's that come
Well,
from?
he was too clean. He was too slick for me. I like raw, edgy stuff. That's why, you know, I like to hear the strings pop and snap and whiz, and Chet was he was too precise for me, and I was never influenced by a guitar player.
So where'd you pick up that style? The thumb, finger.
How
thing,
did Jack
finger-
Williams become
Yeah, how
Jack
did you-
Williams?
I can tell
where
you
did your style
exactly.
evolve?
1970. It was one day in 1970. You have to understand, see, when I first started touring as a solo in 1968, I was playing a nylon string classic guitar, and I understood classic guitar playing. I had played classic guitar and lute in a Renaissance ensemble. Lute a little bit. Yeah, it was a little uncomfortable to play, so I stuck with
Wow.
the guitar. But I learned the technique, and I still love to play classical guitar music. Well, then one day in 1970, 2 years later, we had Crosby, Stills and Nash. Helplessly hoping the harlequin, you know.
Stephen Stills.
I was listening to that song, and I listened to the way he played it. I never listened to guitar players. I always listened to ensembles, singers, orchestras, bands. But I was not a guitar fan. I always thought getting this much talent on the guitar was just God's little joke, or maybe something I did wrong. And it just, instead of giving me the cello that I so wanted, he gave me the guitar. But on that day, I heard Stills doing, and I said, I can do that. I want to play that song. And that day, because I had classical guitar technique, I found out there was nothing to it. But I didn't realize that on that very day, at that moment, I was establishing a style of playing that would characterize my entire career.
Interesting.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, wow. I mean, Stephen is a hell of an acoustic guitar player, too. I mean, the way he played that style, his blues playing, really, really phenomenal.
I didn't know at that time that was what they called Travis picking.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what Chet Atkins followed Merle Travis, but there were players before Merle Travis.
That. Yeah.
I don't know my history, but I do know that in Piedmont blues, I hear people say, hey, you're a Piedmont blues player. And I said, well, I was born in Lancaster, South Carolina. That's kind of near the Piedmont, maybe. But I never heard the term Piedmont blues until it was applied to me. And then I said, wow, I guess that's what I am.
Yeah, among other things. But you also, was trumpet your first instrument? You were a trumpet player at one point, weren't you?
I was for many years. I started that when I was 9.
Uh-huh. Was that your first instrument, or
Oh,
piano
no.
involved? Or?
No, before I took up the trumpet, I played the ukulele when I was 4. My mother was playing it, and she handed it to me one day and said, here, why don't you see what you can do? And I had been watching her so closely that I'd already figured out how to play.
Judy Crack chord.
My wife and a bobtail dog.
It's also
Little Brown Jug.
Oh, Little Brown, yeah.
That was it. Judy prompted my aging
Uh-huh.
mind. But I was able to play it on the first day, and I played it for the next 11 years, during which time I took up the piano, took up the trumpet, and at the end of 11 years, I picked up a guitar and said, heck, man, this is nothing but a big old ukulele.
Yep.
And besides that, now I can do this. And before it sounded kind of insipid.
No. Jack, I'm very similar. Actually, I started with piano lessons at 5, but the second instrument was ukulele. My dad taught me, 4 or 5 chords on the uke, and then tuba in the high school band.
Yeah.
9th grade. But between junior and senior year of high school, I went to a summer camp, met a counselor, the Philadelphia folkie, who played guitar, and all I had to do, like you're talking, was add the bottom 2 strings. Because I already knew the shapes of a D and C and an A and an E.
And you'd already developed the muscle memory to play those things.
Exactly, but my head is a bass playing head. I mean, I sang bass in the choir.
Your mind's in the
tuba,
gutter.
I'm left-handed. Yeah, so that's the exact same thing happened. And then later on, that led me to bass, which is just the bottom 4 strings of the guitar as opposed to the top 4. So, yeah, that's interesting. But you and I have talked where your trumpet playing and the whole melody concept and the harmony parts really had a lot to do with the way you figured out your playing. You do a lot of internal things with harmonies and your 3-note chords that we talked about at Kerrville one time, which I found really fascinating. Because most guitar players go boom and do the whole strum, and you just really pick out the bass note, the melody note, and the harmony note. Is that true?
Yes, and there are sometimes counter melodies. I didn't take up guitar the way I saw my friends taking it up. They either just chorded to sing, just chord, sing. And I thought, with this classical guitar technique, there were ways for me to introduce elements into accompaniment that most people were not doing. I remember working up Ruby Tuesday. And other guitar players said, what are you doing, man? And I said, well, I'm playing the song. And the idea to me was that you got an orchestra in your hands. Mm-hmm. And I love, most of all, my favorite music in the world. And my favorite composer is Brahms. I love
very melodic.
What they call classical music, which is a strange name to cover 1,000 years of music, because it went so many different phases, you know. But that and jazz, because I played a lot. I was a jazz improviser on the trumpet. I learned that from just scat singing and watching Louie and Ella and some of the others, and using the trumpet as a melody thing, as well as when I became an arranger for big bands, making the guitar sound like a big band or like a or like an orchestra. And I realized that there are things that can be done here that people just aren't doing. I realized at some point too that I was doing too much of that and my song was getting lost. So at some point I reached that crossroad where I learned to meld this with my
figurative
songwriting.
crossroads again with the guitar.
That's right. It always shows up somewhere, doesn't it?
Somewhere.
And because I found out I was playing, I would play a song and then I would play this long, fabulous lead type thing with the bass, and it only occurred to me, I think maybe watching a video of myself, that I wrecked the song completely. I interrupted the flow of what I had started with my lyric.
Right.
And so I've cut down now and do a lot less. And songs that I wrote years ago, I've simplified them, but I keep the essential underlying bass, harmony, melody thing.
Right.
But I just enjoy the guitar for that purpose. I don't enjoy much listening to guitar music. I'm not a big fan of it.
Not even classical guitar?
Some, yes. Some I do enjoy.
But I could say I find it interesting what you say, and I know Alice can relate to this too, is that when you're a singer-songwriter, the most important thing in general is the song, you know, for anything.
Absolutely.
And the guitar, and we both do a lot of workshops, and, you know, a lot of times when somebody sings a song and they're bashing the guitar, and you can't really hear them singing stuff. And it's like, it's really about the voice first, and the voice is delivering the song, and the guitar is accompanying it. So it's interesting because you're a hell of a guitar player, and I know how you are. You just playing guitar all the time. So you're thinking guitar, but that realization of, wait a second, I'm stepping on my own song,
Yeah.
you know, is really, really quite brilliant, really, and very important.
I remember now, I'm flashing back to when I had that revelation, that crossroad. There was a great songwriter, probably Georgia's finest ever. His name was Larry John Wilson. And he's on that Highways album. What is that? Something Highways. It's a sort of a cult album. What's that? Heart-Worn Highways, where you can see him and Townes Van Zandt and the young Guy Clark and the young Steve Earle. Larry John Wilson was one of those guys. And he was down at a bar when I was playing, and I was playing a song. And when I finished, he said, "Man, you really can pick the guitar, but you sure did smother your own song." And I said, "Well, thanks a whole lot." And he said, "No,
he was giving you a gift, right?"
It was a gift."
Yeah.
And I acknowledged it by the end of the night. I had to bristle for a while first, you know.
Yep.
I had to go outside and spit and stomp in the dirt.
We've all been there.
But then I realized, you're absolutely right. That was the moment. It was in the 90s when I learned that.
I want to ask you one more question about guitar and then have you play another song. But in that Josh White song, you do, you know, dang, where you're stretching 2 and 3 string. Could you show that's a really unique thing, very few guitar players. Could you do maybe the little segment for somebody who might have missed that in the song where you kind of do that? It's so cool.
Well, I'll play you a little bit of the instrumental song that I made up. It was an improvised song where I discovered that I could do that.
Okay.
Cool.
It's tough on the fingers, huh?
It hurts the fingers because you're not. Usually people bend this way.
Right.
I'm bending these strings. Ow.
Love it. Jack, I'm thinking, are you thinking he should play another song?
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten our technical side of things figured out, and we've got about 30 more people watching, I'd love to have you play another song, Jack.
Okay. Well, I might as well play Freebo's other request.
Well, whatever. I mean, if it makes
Whatever
sense.
you want.
But at some point during the show, I'd love it for you to play High Cotton, but
Okay.
it doesn't have to be now.
I said, all right, let's wait. I got one. I wrote a song down at the Edisto River you said you liked. And I've rewritten some words to it, and I'll play it for you now.
Great.
I co-wrote this with Jeff Bartley of Cambridge, Massachusetts.
I just saw an email from Jeff Bartley, who just had an operation of some sort. I forget what it was. Who runs the Monday night Cantab?
Cantab.
Used to.
Yeah.
Cantab is no more.
That's right. They're
yeah.
looking to sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe we
Well,
should get a
this-
co-op together and buy it.
Bring us to the Edisto River. That's where I want to
Yeah.
go.
All right, here we go. It's always raining when the tire goes flat. The dog comes in when you put out the cat. We're all getting older, no way around that. And if it ain't one thing, it's gonna be another. Take a hold of my hand. Let's run for cover. We're all alike. All alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, and that's all right. We're all alike. Some are named Pedro, and some are named Fritz. Some goes walking, and some just sits. Some eats hash browns, and some eats grits. There ain't a dime's bit of difference between left and right. If you got a stick of candy, everybody wants a bite. We're all alike. All alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night, and we all need love. That's all right, we're all alike. Black man, a white man, a Muslim and a Jew will walk into a bar and say, how do you do? Along comes a Baptist and a young Hindu. So they have a couple drinks, they sing a couple songs. The proof's in the pudding, we can all get along. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night. We all need love, and that's all right. We're all alike. Now we all get cold when the fire goes out. Confidence is shaken when you give in to doubt. So we do the hokey pokey, because that's what it's all about. And we take a trip to Canada or Kathmandu, where they cry and they walk and they laugh like you. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night, and we all need love. That's all right, we're all alike. Now red and yellow and black and tan, all the world's children gonna understand that it might be the fire or the frying pan, but we can make it all better if we get together with an open heart and a willing hand. We're all alike, all alike. We all know the difference between wrong and right. We all put the baby in the cradle at night, and we all need a love. That's all right, we're all alike. I said we're all alike. We're all alike.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna turn my computer back on.
That's brilliant. Wow. I love it.
Such a beautiful message too,
It is.
but a great way of saying it.
It's
I
a
mean,
great way of
just
saying it.
really-
But Jack is good. Jack is the
He's good at
master.
that.
He's poetic. You're poetic in a way where I know you don't like being pedantic
or obvious,
or obvious.
unlike some people.
Like some people. I can go there sometime, but sometimes I don't know. Anyway, that's brilliant, man. And my friend Terry Moody is watching, and he says he's been to the Edisto. I'm not sure
the
exactly where
Edisto.
the Edisto, but
For
thank
folks
you.
who may not be familiar, it's Jack. I believe it's the oldest black water river in the United
No, it's-
States. No,
The longest.
the longest. Couldn't remember if it was the oldest or the longest. Is that?
Well, it's the
Tell us.
longest non-polluted black water river in the world.
And
That's-
the black water refers to the amount of tannins.
Tannic acid from
Yeah.
the cypress and the pines.
Well, I was fortunate to get to join you guys down there one year, and it was just so peaceful. The most slow-moving river you could imagine, and you're just sitting in an inner tube and just floating along at 1 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavenly.
Yeah.
It's I think you were there for the very last gathering.
I was. Oh, I'm glad I could make it.
I'm glad you could too.
Definitely.
Should I?
You should do a song.
I'm not gonna pick like Jack, but
Well, it's not about.
I'm
You're
gonna
not
sing
supposed
like
to.
Alice.
He's not going to sing like you.
All right, here we go. Jack, I'm muting you. That's a relief to know I'm not supposed to. I'm gonna do this. They can see the guitar a little bit. I walked out in a storm the other night. I walked out into the river as it raged above its banks the other night. I was sure the current would part around my waist, but I reached out for your hand. I admit I was afraid. Strong swimmer though I know myself to be. Hey darling, you've been away so long. Hey darling, hey, you've been away so long. See how my garden's grown since you've been gone. I went down to the water's edge. I went down to the water as the sun sank low behind the ridge. The last deep breath of summer lies blazing in the sky, and one step towards those mountains and I'd grow the wings to fly. Every whisper of the waves upon the shore, they tell me so. Hey darling, you've been away so long. Hey darling, hey, you've been away so long. you've been gone. You've been gone. Sorry. Bring it back, bring it back.
Put on the headphones so we can hear what's going on.
Quick. Hi, Jack.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It truly was.
Thanks. Have you heard that one?
I don't think so.
We've had so many. For those of you who don't know, Kerrville Folk Festival in Texas is a really special place. That's where I've gotten to know Jack the best, and I'm so glad that I was able to do the New Folk competition last year. That was last year. It feels like 100 years ago, but it's this annual, really wonderful songwriting competition. Folks of all ages submit, and it's an annual honor to be a finalist, and there's 32 of them, and I got to be one of them last year, and I didn't win, so I'm a proud member of Club 7. AKA the Proud Losers Club. And it's a really amazing festival where we get to just sit around late at night for many hours and share songs around campfires and around lanterns and whatever other sources of light we can find. But I'm missing it. I miss that, just being together. That feeling of just sharing songs back and forth in the dark is such a special time. This is great to see you, but man, I just wish we could be together.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot there too. I think one of the wonderful things about it, you and I, Jack, we are not spring chickens that Alice is, but I know...
What are you calling a chicken?
I won't go there. But
I was born in January. Anyway.
Oh, you were, yeah.
Not spring.
But every year I know I learn something. It's like the older I get, the more I learn, and musically, and the more I discover. And it's such a beautiful craft. It's amazing. And
I love seeing the other writers too, and the way that they tackle an idea, or maybe what I would have done differently, or what they bring to the table that I never would have thought of. And I always leave every evening being like, man, I never, just so many different takes on it, and just not only on the guitar, but just the way you put words together, the way people think about themselves and other people and relationships. It's like it blows you away. It makes me just so eager to run home and start thinking about what's next for me, writing-wise. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Freebo, you got a song?
I do. I just wonder if our friends Jim and Beverly were watching, because we spent so much time on their porch.
They might be.
Just sometimes in the afternoon, the evening, late at night, into the early morning.
RV site number 29.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The only one with a deck.
Yes.
That's true.
It's the best place to be. That's one of the elite clubs. All right. What are you going to play, Freebo?
Well,
Here we go.
I played this Try not to repeat too much, but I know you and Judy really like this song, Jack. So I think I'm gonna play it, and any of those of you who might have heard it last week, I hope either you'll forgive me or you'll be grateful, because you'll go, oh, I really like that song. I just heard something in it I hadn't heard before. That happens sometimes.
Yes,
right?
and before you start, may I mention a couple of
Yes,
items of business?
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We finally got the Facebook thing happening. It was not quite as we planned it, but I think we're there. And if you're enjoying the show, we would love if you would share it. Just hit the share button so that more folks can find it. Thank you to Norm's Rare Guitars, wearing the t-shirt, and to Jen at Norm's. And I got to thank Lori Reimer she's Cellar Magazine, Music Magique Promotions, our wonderful friend Lori in LA, who's helping us behind the scenes too, and shared it to a bunch of places all at once. So thank goodness for you guys. Just wanted to give that little shout out, some love.
Yeah, and as long as you mentioned Cellar Music,
Oops.
Whoa, what is that?
Just a cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to worry about.
Cellar Music, it's an online magazine, and they're helping to sponsor us, and it's really cool. They have articles about music and musicians, but they also do news of the day. If you subscribe to it, and it's completely free, there are no catches whatsoever. You go to rockcellarmagazine.com, and just, I don't know exactly what the subscribe button is, but it's pretty obvious, and it'll come right into your email every day, and you can read it or not. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're supporting us in this show, so we just want to make sure you know about the great work that they do.
Indeed.
Cellar Magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freebo.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay, I'll take my headphones off. This song is called I Ain't Running No More. I ain't running no more, I ain't walking out the door. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more like so many times before. I ain't running no more. I was caught in my confusion, an illusion of my own, paralyzed and staring at the floor. Could have used a helping hand, 'cause I couldn't understand what all the fight and suffering was for. But I ain't running no more, I ain't walking out the door. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more like so many times before. I ain't running no more. I was running on empty, I was running against the wind. No confronting, I was running out the door. Felt ashamed and I would blame me, just a victim of my own. Now I'm done and I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more, I ain't walking out the door. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more like so many times before. I ain't running no more. All those stories of old, they don't need to be told. I'll dry up the tears of my journey, and I'll face all the fears that I've run from for years. But I ain't running no more, I ain't walking out the door. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more like so many times before. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more, I ain't walking out the door. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more like so many times before. I ain't running no more. I ain't running no more.
We need a better system, Freebo.
I know. How can we
Hi,
avoid this
Jack.
headphone thing?
If anybody is really good at technology and can explain to us how we can hear Jack and not use headphones, please
And
write me an
vice versa.
email. It's alice@alicehow.com.
It's called telepathy.
Telepathy.
Can you just beam it into our minds? Yes.
I wish they could work it out with Zoom or Restream or whatever, that because I was singing a great harmony with you guys, but you
I
couldn't
know.
hear
I
it.
know. Hey,
I'm
I just
sure
want to
you're
say
filling it in.
that Jim and Bev are watching.
They are. Just
All
saw that,
right.
Yeah.
And
right.
we got Melissa on here. We've got Terry. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Toby, hey. And to all our friends at Norman's Rare Guitars. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah, Toby, thanks for sharing earlier. Really appreciate that. And y'all should know. I mean, I hate to do this pandering, but
He's
believe
gonna
it or not,
pander.
gotta say it. But
Here it comes.
this is how we make a living. We play music.
What?
and
Who would be so crazy as to do that?
We are. Jack and I have been doing it for over 50 years, and somehow survived. And look, we're really fortunate. I don't know
We
about
are.
you, Jack. I count my blessings every day that I get to do what I really love, what I'm here to do, and somehow make enough money to pay the rent. And that's what this spiel is about, because we got to pay the rent, folks. And we can't go out and do the gigs. And we appreciate y'all watching. We really do. And we hope you like it. And if you do like it, throw in $5. I mean, if each of you throws in $5 and we split it 3 ways, it really helps us down the
Helps
road.
us a
If
lot.
you feel like putting in more, great. But
We
just
know-
$5 would be so appreciated. And I'm sure you can do that. If you can't,
And that's
Don't-
okay,
don't
too.
go away.
We want
Don't
you to
go
stay
away.
if you can't, because times are definitely unusual for all of us, and we are well aware of that. But yeah, we're grateful for your support. So
Yeah, thank
all the
you.
info is right there, and
Yep.
thank you. And now,
that's so hard to do, isn't it, Jack?
oh, it's the worst.
What's hard?
Asking people for money.
That part, yes.
That part.
This part
No,
is
the
fun.
music is the hell. I mean, if
I've always, I've been doing it for 62 years for money, but
62, oh my God.
And actually, I'm curious to ask you, Jack. You kind of state proudly on your website, and I've heard you talk about this, and I know from your touring and everything that you do is really kind of under the radar in some ways, like with you and Judy, the two of you going around the country together and doing house concerts and doing, kind of not big time music biz type gigs. And I just would love for you to share a little bit about like kind of how you went down that path and what that means to you, why it's important to you, what it's meant for your career. Just kind of curious about that.
And I would dovetail to that because where you came from, because like me, you played as a guitar player for a lot of people before you were a singer-songwriter, and that whole transition and how you've created really a wonderful career for yourself.
well, it's, I have never wanted. I always saw the idea of fame and fortune as and not as a goal. If I were to attain that goal, I knew inherently that I would have to give up something. And I would have to give up something that was important to me about how music is produced. When I was 17 at the Miami or Fort Lauderdale Armory, my band, such as it was at that time, I had the quintessential rock and roll experience. I was accosted by a man in a suit with a cigar.
Can I manage you?
He wanted to just not only manage me. He said, "We want you to leave these guys behind. We come with us, and we're going to buy you some clothes. You're going to do a Dwayne Eddy thing, but it's not going to be Dwayne Eddy. You'll play. You'll be the lead guy, and we'll pay for your instruments. We'll buy your clothes. Instead of red and black like Dwayne and Eddie, yours is going to be blue. Okay, just like this shirt here." And he
You
had a
look good in
check.
blue. That's good.
He had a check for me. And I remember how much he said it was for. I did not see the check. But I told him I wasn't interested. I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And I just said, that just doesn't sound like. There were other factors, of course. I was in school. I was a kid. I was not a rebellious kid against my parents. I wasn't about to leave home. But I didn't even broach the subject with him. But early on, Freebo and Alice, the idea of playing those gigs that you feel like you have to play to make it, I did a lot of those. But at a certain point, I quit doing it because house concerts, the up close and personal thing, I was playing 70, 75 house concerts a year. And I would go play the Ark. I'd go play the Freight and Salvage and some of the other big rooms. And they were never, ever satisfying gigs to me. The people that I dealt with, and I'm not being specific about anybody here, but a lot of times the people who run the commercial venues have seen it all. They're jaded.
Right.
They've seen it all. You're a newcomer, you're just trash,
Right.
basically. I'll give you a spot. I'll give you can play Tuesday night, we'll bring in $1,200, I'll give you $300. And that actually did happen.
Or 50.
Oh, sure.
Yes. But I did these gigs thinking that I would up the ante for myself and become better known. And I found that I was doing a perfectly good job of it and getting better known and getting to meet the people and enjoying. The people who run a house concert are nothing like the guy who runs the so-and-so club in downtown Boston. Well, come on in, you go in there, blah, blah. And we're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. And there is no warmth there. I'm looking for warmth in this world. And you can find them in house concerts. And there are venues. There are certain venues that have it, and I could name them. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to leave anybody out or make anybody feel neglected. But
Right.
there are places where you go where you feel like it is true that maybe it's a venue that has music 7 nights a week. So everybody that works there, who books the acts there, they see music every night. You're just another one. But there are a few of them that manage to keep up the warmth, and you feel good about being there, and you feel good about playing for them. Yeah. And I played with bands from 1958 to 1968.
As an electric guitar player, basically?
As an electric guitar player only. And some piano and trumpet, depending on the size. I had one 12-piece band in 1963, and I had a guitar around my neck, and I played trumpet too.
Oh my God. You guys would have been a dynamic duo, bass and tuba and guitar and trumpet. I can just see it.
Well, and then,
Trade-off.
but in 1968, I developed a concurrent solo career. I decided, and I worked up a song that Alice plays so beautifully. And I was,
Wait, let me guess.
okay.
Is it Bring It On Home? No.
No, I already knew that one from my bands before.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. And I learned that several band songs. I had not yet written a song. That was coming 2 years later.
I wish we could.
But I worked. Remember the Ruby Tuesday thing I did, and I was playing Jesse Winchester, I was playing Willis Allen Ramsey. I was playing what I wanted to play. I found that kept me from certain gigs. I did learn to find the songs that not only pleased me, but pleased them. Like, now that I've lost everything to you, you say you want to start something new. Yeah, and there was some beautiful stuff there, some Paul Simon stuff. And I worked them out, I love Procol Harum, All Hands on Deck. We'll run a flow. And this was my repertoire. And as I played solo, I couldn't play solo all the time to make a living, so I had bands, trios, quartets, quintets, sextets, septets. What's 12? I had the 12-piece band in 1963.
Deca?
Yeah, a decatet.
A decatet?
It's a double sextet.
A decadent decatet we were. But eventually I ended up in the 68 or so. I put a band together that was a really hot band, 8-piece, Athens, Georgia. And then when I left college, 1970, I was graduated from graduate school in 1970, and I put a band together shortly thereafter, starting around 19. All this time I was playing Colorado, from the East Coast to Colorado. Rarely went to California. Rarely ever went out there.
Did you ever play Tulagis?
No, I didn't. I always wanted to, but they wouldn't give me the time of day. And you know what? I made a pact with myself. If a place is that hard to play, it ain't worth asking anymore. And there are places that just made it too hard for them to say, well, I tell you what, I'm not begging you for a gig here. I just want you to hear me and see if I would please you and your audience. And usually that just didn't cut any ice with them. They wanted you to They wanted you to hear the hype. They wanted to hear it all.
I just love, what it says to me is it's about valuing yourself and knowing what you're worth and knowing what makes you feel good and what doesn't. I mean, it's like, when you said, the venues that stick out in your mind as being the ones that do have the warmth. I mean, I've only been on the road for 4 years at this point, and I know those places come to mind right away.
Right away.
Immediately, I was like right there at a couple of them. And,
these are the people you raise a glass to when you're talking about the gigs you play.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the horror gigs, the gigs from hell. And all musicians sit around and talk about the gigs from hell,
Right.
And they're sleeping.
And you have to do them all. I mean, it's
Right.
part of paying the dues. I mean,
Absolutely.
And that's how you find out what the good gigs are, by finding out what the bad gig. You don't go seek them out. You do what you got to do, and then you just start to make choices.
But I admire you for making those choices and going that route. I mean, the house concerts are so wonderful. I didn't even know what they were until I got into the folk circuit, as it were.
Right.
And just the first one I became aware of was Bill Lippy's series in Seattle. And it was like, oh my God, there's 60 people in this room, and they're right here, and they each paid $20, and they're all so happy, and it's like.
And they didn't know who you were, and they didn't care.
And they didn't care because they trust Bill because he has good taste, and it's perfect for everybody. And I walked away with $1,000. It was like, great.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about, and both you guys, and I can totally, it's integrity. Mm-hmm. It means musical integrity, but it's also personal integrity. And there are a lot of ways to go, and there are a lot of, there are a lot of distractions along the way. I mean, I feel really lucky. In 1968, I was playing with a band called Edison Electric. We're actually opening for Procol Harum, which is where I met Bonnie Raitt, when she first saw me play, and I guess liked what I did, and we became friends and played with her later on.
I thought it was your orange pants.
Maybe it was the orange pants. I don't know.
You told me it was the orange pants.
I had yellow paisley bell bottoms myself.
Man.
These were orange bell bottoms, yeah. But anyway, I remember, because I was a straight kid from Pennsylvania. I know you're from South Carolina, but I wanted to make a living. I wanted to make some money, and so I wanted to get a gig or two in a bar band where you're playing 4 or 5 sets a night, playing 6 nights a week, but you're making some money. Of course, they want you to wear a uniform of some sort. Yours was blue. I don't remember what color it was for us. And the other guys in the band, thank God, they said, no, you can't do that, because if you do that, you become a bar musician. We will be a bar band, and we wanted to do original stuff, which we did. And I fought it tooth and nail, and damn it, they were right. They were absolutely right. And it's a huge lesson for me, and I feel fortunate all the way along. I've let the music be my guide, the music that I like, and I think I think consequently I may not have had a rich life, but I've had a very happy life and very fulfilled
Rich
life.
in experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to money, but there are a lot of people with a lot of money who aren't happy.
I don't want to cast aspersions on the people, even some of my friends, who have chosen money. They've chosen money over music.
It's not to cast aspersions on anybody, and I
all.
honestly am grateful to every single venue I've ever played, and these are wonderful, hardworking people, and they do so much for the communities that they're in, and people love them and patronize them, and I have great respect.
I was thinking more in terms of the musicians, who some people may look at as not having integrity,
right?
But the fact is that those people make their own choice.
Yeah.
They go to Nashville, and to them, they make the decision, is the music, as I know it and love it, as important as how famous I want to be or how much money I want to make? if they make that choice, that's their business. I have to say that I have many friends who went that route. One band went to L.A., the other went, and they were incredible musicians. And they broke up. The bands broke up because they weren't going to make it, and they gave it up. And I was astounded. I said, why have you quit playing? Oh, well, we just didn't get where we wanted to be. So then they're just speaking their priorities, which are not mine. And I don't fault them for their priorities. They seem to be quite happy.
Yeah. No, I've got some very good friends who actually made that decision and quit playing music and got married and had a family and got a straight job and are perfectly happy. I mean, certainly as happy as me, maybe more so, and had the family, the kids, had that life. But it always seems to come back, they say, but there's always a part of them that kind of wishes they were doing this, which makes me feel good. I go, oh, okay, there's some retribution here.
Oh my God,
it's not always
you guys,
about the money. But.
Well, I always ran up against. I always wanted to be married, so I got married and I played, and I got married and again, and I played. And I got married again, and got married again, and then I got married again. And
oh my God!
And so it's a tough thing, but I will say this: that one time, there was something I wanted to do that I turned down because of family. In 1965, I did a lot of backing of musicians. I backed John Lee Hooker, Big Joe Turner, the Platters and the Drifters and the Shirelles, you know. Soldier boy, oh my little soldier boy. But I had a gig in Athens, Georgia in 1965 with my band, and we were going to back, we were the opener, we were going to back Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. Turns out it was only Hank Ballard. Mm-hmm. And the other one was Jerry Butler, who I love Jerry Butler, you know.
Yeah.
He don't love you like, you know. And so Jerry Butler comes into the gig in a sweat, and he corners me in the back. He said, "You're the band leader, right?" I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Can you read charts?" And I said, "Yeah, man, but I don't need your charts. I know all your stuff." Uh-huh. And he looked at me, he wiped his forehead. He said, "Well, my guitar player and bass player quit me last night at Cincinnati. And can your bass player read charts?" And I said, "Yeah, he can. And we know most of your stuff, even your obscure stuff." And so we played the gig with him. He had a percussionist, 2 sax players, and a drummer, the percussion congas and whatnot. And it was a beautiful gig. And I played guitar, and at the end of the gig, he offered me the job of his band leader. Wow. And he said, "I want you, if you're willing to take it, I want you to go to Charlotte next week and take my songs, which I'll give. I still got the charts upstairs he gave me. Yeah. And go to the Charlotte, North Carolina Symphony Orchestra. I'm going to play with them, and you rehearse them. You rehearse them, okay?" It was so up my alley. And I love Jerry Butler, but my son was about to be born. I was married. I was going to school. But nothing overpowered the fact that I felt like I'm going to be somebody else's person if I do this. I've got songs. I got things to say. I had not written a song yet, but I got things I want to do. And this sounds very exciting, but I had something else. I knew I had another destiny, and had no clue what it was. But I turned him down, and I looked back, and so that was one occasion where family played an important role in me turning down something that I would have loved to have said yes to. But I look back and I think if I had done that, I wouldn't be playing these house concerts or these great gigs. I wouldn't know these great people.
Well, you know, Jack, but that's also part of integrity. I mean, it's the choices. I'm not discounting the fact that, you know, you had the kid and family and everything, but there's also that thing like, yeah, but here's what I really want to do. Here's what I really want to express. And,
right.
And that's so important. Alice and I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, no, and I feel, you know, obviously I'm in a different life stage than you two. And I feel like I don't know where my career is going to go. But I think if I follow what I want to say and who I feel that I am musically, then whatever's going to happen is what will happen. I think if you have this idea of fame, you know, I think having goals and having aspirations and dreams is one thing, but to be like so focused on, I have to be a certain way in order to get
Exactly.
this thing, then you can't. That's
going
that's
outside
taken
in.
me
Yeah.
quite a while and many conversations with you to kind of get to a place where it's acceptance and just like living in the flow of it and just doing what you know is right for you. So,
And I didn't want to just be
right,
Jerry Butler's guitar
Right.
player, band leader. That was not in the cards for me.
right,
And it didn't occur to me at the time that I wouldn't stay Jerry Butler's band leader, guitar player, that I'd be backing other people. But mostly, and I didn't see it as a pathway for me to be able to do what I felt deepest.
And what is it that you feel the deepest? You should play something as a segue.
Okay?
Was that a good segue?
That's a real good segue, and I would love it if you'd play my request, because
It's a good example.
I think it is a good example, because here it is, you, if I may, and the listeners
this
can
song.
make their own judgment, but this song to me is it's so you, Jack. It's I've never heard a song like it, musically, what you do with your voice, with your guitar. But the song, it to me, it's one of the great environmental songs, that I know of, written, and it says it in such a subtle way, and so I think it's a great example of how you marry poetry, music with a message, without knocking people over the head with it.
Well, I never want to knock people over the head with my music, other than
Sure.
musically. But this song has a complete. Well, every note is worked out. There's there's a little improv. There's room for wiggle, and but mostly it's very carefully worked out to where my guitar answers me, talks to me, and I talk to it. And it's a song about the Deep South. And I was a little nervous when you requested it, Freebo, because this is one where you can tell by my voice the hoarseness. I'm dealing with hoarseness issues. They're getting better, and arthritis issues, and both of those come into play in this song. So this song is a Dickens to play for me. Most pickers would think it'd be a fast song, but this one is a very slow one and is rather difficult. But I'm glad to play it for you because I love to play this song.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.
Cotton stands open to the morning. Morning breaks loose from the night. Night runs grieving down the basin. The river takes a shine to the light. Light lifts the heat from the pasture. I love the warm feeling in my nose. Dusty Red Bull swats a deer fly as he nibbles on the Cherokee rose. Cotton, high cotton. The more I see, the less I know. The well runs deeper than the bucket goes. Swing high, swing low, high cotton. Cotton says howdy to the melon. Melon throws a shadow on the toad. Toad spies a purple snake doctor in a sunbeam laying across the road. The road used to lead through the cotton before they turned the field into a mall. Mall ran our store out of business and took a little family from us all. Cotton, high cotton. The more I see, the less I know. The well runs deeper than the bucket goes. Swing high, swing low, high cotton. gives shelter to the weevil. Weevil gives breakfast to the shrike. Shrike must kill, but does no evil. Ask the sparrow on the thorny spike. Cotton saw the land turn to madness. 1,000,000 souls buried in the clay. Freedom walks her fields in a sad dress. In my Dixie home far, far away. Cotton, high cotton. The more I see, the less I know. The well runs deeper than the bucket goes. Swing high, swing low, high cotton. Cotton, high cotton. The more I see, the less I know. The well runs deeper than the bucket goes. Swing high, swing low. Where's a poor boy to go? Easy come, easy go. High cotton.
Wow.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So gorgeous.
My buddy Terry Moody said very emotional song. He was tearing up during that. Doesn't surprise me. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, beautiful. Lyrics, I mean, just the tune, also kills me how you go, then the bucket goes, like that. Just,
And at one point, go.
how'd you come up with that?
I don't. You just come up with it. You just do it. It
I
just,
know.
Well, you do a lot of that stuff with your voice. You do a lot of sliding. Good.
yeah. Well, that's because in the 50s and 60s, I really wanted to be Ray Charles. You know.
Yeah. Also, the da da didn't diddy. I mean, it seems so easy to play, but that is not easy to play,
Especially with arthritis and with a capo up there. Just,
You still taking your turmeric?
oh yes, I wouldn't be able to play the song at all.
Yeah, you turned me on to turmeric, and I've kind of run out of it in the last 2 weeks. I got to stop at CVS and get some more, but it really does help.
I've doubled it up. I do that in the morning, and now I take 1,000 milligrams of curcumin every night.
Oh.
And it, you know what? I go weeks without feeling any lack of flexibility.
Cool.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Very natural.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I think I'll
What do you
play
got?
I'll play a newer song. This is one that I just wrote. Gosh, maybe a month ago.
Can you do this in?
June is a dream, I've had it before. The sweet summer breeze coming through my screen door. Don't wake me up, I'll be begging for more. I'll always let you in. Pieces of fate fall into my hands. What we did that night wasn't part of my plans. Hard to accept when you don't understand, but I learned not to feel ashamed. You can run, you can hide, but it don't give a damn for your pride. Oh, I'm a happy fool, and love has no rules. wasn't fully aware of the thirst I had. But now that I know, baby, I can't go back. I'll never be the same. You can run, you can hide, but it don't give a damn for your pride. Oh, I'm a happy fool, and love has no room. No room. I know that one day we'll be out of time. I could count all the days left before the goodbye. And nobody knows it better than I, but I don't want to live that way. You can run, you can hide, but it don't give a damn for your pride. Oh, I'm a happy fool, and love has no room. Love has no room. No room. No room. Oh, headphones. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Here he is. Hey, Jack.
Beautiful,
Thanks.
really beautiful.
Thank you. It's been a good time to write for me. Have you been writing on these strange times?
No,
No.
I've been building. I write a little bit. I have one new, totally crazy song I'm working on.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy song.
Wow. Can't wait to hear that next year
I'm
at
gonna
Kerrville.
put it on the new CD.
Oh, great.
It's funny that I was going to begin work on this new CD back during when the pandemic was started, and so it's ended up putting it off months, and it's been great because now this CD is going to be like 50 songs long, because I keep finding new things I want to do,
Oh my God.
and I get to play the songs over and over more than I would have before the session, and I know them better, so I'm really looking forward to this album. And then I wrote this one crazy song, and yeah, it's going to go there. Don't ask me to play it.
Would you play it?
Here's the introduction. That's the introduction.
That's pretty crazy.
Ask me no more.
That is crazy.
The song is all about, all the voices in our brains telling us things, the racket that we deal
I
with,
can relate to that.
just the mental complication. It starts out in the brain. The brain's a terrible thing, a massive confusion and a whole lot of pain. And the whole song is nothing but stream of consciousness.
Oh God.
And,
Which is,
yes, I wrote a
exactly
song.
Exactly what it should be. I wanted to ask you one question. You said, I didn't realize it before. You said that in 1970 you graduated from graduate school.
yes,
In what?
music composition. I was a composer.
Well, that makes sense. I thought maybe it was something like archaeology or something. I wasn't sure.
I would have liked that too, but no, I studied music composition, and I was in college for 9 years. Freebo. It's what the whole idea of being a musician. So you end up being married 5 times, and so in college you're a musician, so you stay for 9 years. So you can get through.
Wow, you really got extra of everything.
Yeah. The bad and the good.
Hey, I can relate to that. Not to the married bit, but I was in basically I was in 5 schools in 7 years, and finally graduated with a degree in music composition,
Oh,
All
man.
right.
composition and arranging. Yeah.
Yeah, but being a military kid, I went to 17 schools in 12 years.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll get you learn you how to adjust.
Well, it'll learn you how to, yeah, but there's a real downside. If you're a military kid and you know you're not going to, you go to a town and your dad says, we're going to be here for 6 weeks, Jack, go out and make friends. Okay, so you learn to do that. You learn to be adaptable,
Right.
but you don't learn to connect.
Ah.
You're not responsible to people. You're not answerable to them. You can be anybody you want to be. You can be gone in 6 weeks. What the hell?
Wow.
So it took years to undo that kind of jackassedness. You become
you never
a jerk.
struck me as a jackass.
Well, I hope by the time I'd met you that I had gotten over it, because I
It
became
was
aware.
Judy's influence.
That partly. It was yeah. I'm not going to go on any further. I might insult some army brats out there somewhere.
Oh my goodness. That's interesting though. Freebo, what do you got for us? We are getting close to our time. I'm just surprised to say, but not that we really have to stop, but
Well, I think what I'm gonna do, Jack. We were, talking about the intuition and making choices, and I really think that's what life is all about. And life is really just a series of choices. I mean, I look at where I am, and I look at every choice along the way that led me there, good ones and bad ones, and they all got me here. Other choices would have got me somewhere else.
Right.
It's very simple. And I mean, little choices and big choices. I mean, big choices like the one, like, should I go on the road or should I stay home with the kids? And little choices, should I get out of bed or should I stay in bed? Should I go back to bed? Should I have breakfast? Should I not? I mean, little ones all the way along,
big deal.
It is a big
Breakfast
deal.
is a big
really
deal.
is. But do you want to play a little bit of bass?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll
Right.
do
Okay, here we go.
my personal GPS, because
Oh, yes.
that's really what it's all about. I mean, I figured out one day that, I mean, women's intuition is a very powerful thing, and we all have male and female in us, and the older I get, the more I'm learning how to be in touch, stay in touch with my feminine side, and that is my intuition.
Good, Freebo.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy to hear that.
Oh yeah, and
See if we
so, hey, can you fit it in there?
I think so.
Oh, good. So I thought maybe I would. I think I played this one last week too, but I just feel like playing it. So my personal GPS, and you played along on this, Jack. You can play along on it, even though we won't hear you. But it goes like this. One, two, three. Let me tell you about my angel, the one you never see, my everyday companion, living deep inside of me. She guides me through the trenches, she gets me out of every mess. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, she's my personal GPS. Well, she leads me on the journey, she leads me to the goal. She's always on the money, never leaves me in the cold. And every time I listen, I wind up being truly blessed. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, she's my personal GPS. I'm at the fork in the road, I gotta make a choice. So much going on, I don't heed her voice. So I make a wrong turn, I'm feeling lost and afraid. Then I hear my angel calling, recalculate. Well, I gotta pay attention, gotta turn it on, and I've gotta turn it up. 'Cause every time I do it, you know I'm guaranteed success. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, she's my personal GPS. This is where I'd ask you to play, Jack, but you can't, so I guess I will. Drifting in the dark, will I ever find a harbor? I don't see it on the chart. Or something saying no, someone else is whispering yes, yes, yes. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, she's my personal GPS. Yes, she is. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, crystal clear and never muddy. She's my Watson, she's my tunnel, never tardy, always prompt. She's my Sherman, she's my guide, never runs, never hides. Truly awesome, she's the best. She's my personal GPS. My personal GPS. She's my personal GPS. I say she's my personal GPS. Yes, yes. She lives right here. And everybody's got one.
Whether they like it or not.
Whether they like it or not, just a question of getting in touch with it. Or not.
Hey, Jack, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
What's Jack saying
Well, I'd love to hear another song from Jack. I don't know if we'll have time to go around again, but...
here? No, it's fine with me.
What's
I've enjoyed... I hope you've enjoyed this interview at all, Jack.
I have had a great time. It's just great to get to visit with you guys.
I know.
I can't see anybody else like you can in Zoom, so I'm just assuming it's just the three of us, you know.
I know, we're just publicly hanging out.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we do. Yeah, it's been an adventure. Yeah, we've chosen this. We brought this upon ourselves.
We have.
Well, we didn't bring the COVID, but...
No, but I mean the public life, the
public COVID.
hanging out in public on stage.
No, that's true. Which is, it really is interesting. Speaking of choices, because, I've got a friend, a guy named W. Mitchell. There's a wonderful speaker. And this guy was actually burned head to toe twice in his life. Twice.
Holy cow.
An airplane accident and something else. And he's a
not
phenomenal
fair.
speaker. He's a motivational speaker. And his whole thing is all about, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And I just heard another quote of his. He said, before I had my accident, I used to be able to do 10,000 things. He said, now I can do 9,000 things. Which is really, really pretty cool way to look at it.
Yeah, what's the statute of limitations here?
Yeah.
There isn't one.
Right.
No, there isn't.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we did definitely create our own destiny. And yeah, that's what COVID's doing. It's making us, do this stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's been fun putting
learn
this
how to do
together,
it.
and I've definitely had to learn many things with the technology, and thank you all for bearing with me on that. And I think we're getting there. Bit
Yeah.
by bit.
Yeah, bit
And
by bit.
I just want to mention, you know our next guest well, Jack. We're going to have Vance Gilbert in 2 weeks, and just want to
Oh,
let
you guys are in for a ride.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be a treat. If
we-
you all
we-
don't
we
know
love Vance.
Vance Gilbert, you must be sure to be here. So we are taking next week off. Next Wednesday, we are not going to have a show. It's at the same time as the vice presidential debate, and we thought we would just sit this one out and regroup and set up our lineup for the next month and a half or so. So we're going to have a full month or more of shows to let you guys know about pretty soon. But the next one to mark your calendars for is October 14th, and it's going to be the amazing Vance Gilbert, who has a very funny quote about Jack Williams on Jack's website. It's a small world. And I was like, that's a perfect Vance Gilbert quote, because he wrote one about me, and the whole thing about his quotes about artists that he respects is like, does that mean what I think it means, or does it mean something? I'm not sure what that means, but it seems really deep, and it must mean that they're really good, but I can't quite figure it out.
Sounds like a Neil Young song. Seems like
That's the way I feel about everything Vance says.
There's nobody like him. He's going to be great. So
Yeah. Just for our listeners, I mean, we've got some other guests coming up. At some point, Eliza Gilkison has agreed to do it, as has Ellis Paul.
Chris Smither.
Maria Moldauer, Scarlett Rivera.
We're so excited about all
and,
these.
and even, believe it or not, Willis Allen Ramsey at some point. He's still making that album he's been making for the last 40 years. But
No, it's already finished.
It just about.
I've heard it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've heard it in different stages, but
No, I've heard the finished thing.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
Jack,
Yeah,
I have
he
become.
won't. He's not going to release it.
I have become
He's not gonna
such a
release
huge
it.
fan of Freebo. Has this? We probably shouldn't even say.
well,
It has like a bootleg tape.
No,
Oh, it's a Kerrville live recording.
I've got what he gave me so I could learn his tune,
I'm
but
obsessed
also
with it.
live at Kerrville
It's so
where I play
good.
with him. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's so unique.
Been trying to-
His album, and I met him about a year after he came out with that album, around 1971 or 2.
Right.
And we became friends. We sat up and picked all night for 2 nights, and we played Ray Charles and band songs, and got to be friends. And I began to realize that this fellow's never going to put another album out.
You knew it back then?
No, it started to show up around 75 when he said, I've got that album just about done. And then he said it every year thereafter.
Uh-huh.
And
he's so
but,
good.
you know,
God, I wish he'd
it's
put it out.
so wonderful. I still play, Spider John is my name, friends. In between phrases, sure, I can play any song on that album.
So good.
He wrote one of the greatest songs about Woody Guthrie ever written.
Which one?
Traveling across the country, playing on the circuit line. Sometimes I think about a man who was here before my time. Named for the 28th president, with a Guthrie tied to the end. Born in Okemos shoes, with the Dust Bowl blues. Friend of the working man. Just a boy from Oklahoma.
Oh man.
Willis Allen Ramsey.
Yeah.
He's
you
about
do
as good as
any-
it gets.
Can you do any Willis vocal licks?
Well, I probably
Alice
could
has it
because I
down.
imitated him.
Oh my God. I've been imitating him in the car. Been trying to get it right.
He's got a song on the quote new
Mr.
album.
Lemon.
Mr. Lemon.
What's
You
that?
know that one? He doesn't know
Yeah,
that one.
give him a
No,
little
no,
bit
no,
of
no,
that.
no.
Just a little.
No,
bit.
no, 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 no. I'd like to hear Jack play a song.
Okay,
That's what
I'd
I
like
want
to hear that, too.
I want you to take us out, Jack. We'll come
Okay,
back on to say goodbye. But
Before Jack takes us out,
What?
we want to remind you people. We just a couple things. If you haven't contributed, thrown in that $5, we'd really appreciate it. Again, if you like what you've heard, help us along the road so we can continue doing this. We really appreciate it, and we want to thank Norman's Rare Guitars for having us on their wonderful YouTube channel.
Yes.
And Norm has been a great supporter of us. We want to thank Jen, who's kind of doing some switching back there and helping us out a lot. We really appreciate Jen. And we want to thank Kevin and Laurie from Cellar Magazine. And remind you guys, if you want to subscribe to that, it's at rockcellarmagazine.com,
Magazine.com, and it's free.
It's free, and like I say, some really cool articles in it, and news of the day as well. So you can't beat it. And again, there's no catches. Anything else?
Yeah, well, we're so grateful to Fishman for giving us this amp that you can't see, but it's the LoudBox Mini, and it's a rechargeable amp, and it sounds amazing with Freebo's bass. So thank you, Fishman, and also Audio Technica. They have sent us some really nice microphones, so we're grateful to all those wonderful folks. You can find us every Wednesday, except for next Wednesday. Every other Wednesday. I mean, not every other Wednesday. Every Wednesday besides next Wednesday.
8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific.
Live at 5 Pacific, right here on Facebook and YouTube. And here is Jack Williams. Thank you for that lovely background music.
I'll be seeing you.
In Apple Blossom time?
No, that was I'll Be Seeing You, all the old familiar places.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I want to play one that's a little bit off the wall here. It's a song that's about 30-something years old of mine. And I recorded it on an album that I forgot that I made in 1990. I really did. Forgot about the album. But it's a song. It's possible, you know. Judy and I were going through a box at Kerrville when we moved there, and I found it. I said, hey, here's an album. It's complete. 10 songs. And I'd forgotten that I'd recorded it. And so this is one song on there, and it's kind of a love song for rock and roll. I always felt like, you know, the Dobie Gray, Drift Away.
Yeah.
It's a love song to rock and roll.
Huh.
It's kind of a love song, and I always thought, you know, I want to write my own love song to rock and roll, but mine's going to sound more like old rock and roll. And since you and I are both old rockers,
We are.
dip back as far as the 50s. This is the song that is going to be on the new album, even though it's a very old song.
Cool.
And just hold on to your hats. It's a little bit more than your usual folky nonsense. Way back in '59, graduation time. My shoes were superb, my hair was immaculate. I had the perfect date. She said, we cannot wait. She said, if you be cool, I might let you be the first to tackle it. And my new chrome pipes, and my racing stripes. My 57 Chevy was the creme of the creme de la creme. And in a school that small, no competition at all. And when it came to the hop, without a doubt, you were the queen of the gym. Oh, chain me to the backbeat. Chain me down, let the good times roll. And every now and then, my feet will fly again to the beat of that old solid gold rock and roll. We had the beat from the back. There was a grumble and strat. We knew we were part of something too big to deny. And as I stood watching all night long, and you and I danced to every song, we sang all the words to every star in the sky. Oh, chain me to the backbeat. Chain me down, let the good times roll. And every now and then, my feet will fly again to the beat of that old solid gold rock and roll. Woo, yeah. Oh, chain me to the backseat. Chain me down, let the good times roll. And every now and then, my feet will fly again to the beat of that old solid gold rock and roll. Way back in '59. Graduation time. My shoes were superb, my hair was immaculate. I had the perfect day, all her teeth were straight. She said, if you be cool, I will let you be the first to tackle it. Oh, chain me to the back seat. Chain me down, let the good times roll. And every now and then, my feet will fly again to the beat of that old solid gold rock and roll. Yeah, and every now and then, my feet will fly again to the beat of that old solid gold rock and roll. I couldn't help myself.
Oh man,
Oh, that's killer.
that is
man.
not the usual folky nonsense. That is.
Well, you know,
That was.
No, well, but
Great.
you're not the usual folky, Jack.
No.
You're in the folk world, but man, you're coming from all these different places.
Yeah,
well, the folk world is a very nice place to be with a lot of nice people.
it is.
And I'm glad that most of them are not the folk police, that they will allow for some variation and
Yes.
deviation from the route from here to there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Hey, I mean, again, I relate to you so much because, you know, we both have this varied musical background, and you get to bring it into this world, you know, and it was really interesting working with Alice when I first met Alice, three and a half years, whatever it was, and Alice was very much a folkie, and at one point, I mean, still is, and has a beautiful voice, but
Recovering.
but at one point, I heard her just kind of singing some bluesy stuff, and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, it's just an old Muddy Waters song." I said, "You like Muddy Waters?" She said, "I love Muddy Waters." You know? I said, "Really?" And who else? Taj Mahal, and you could name. And so we've been just exploring more and more of these other sides because, you know, we're
We're
not,
all hybrids.
yeah, we're all hybrids,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
music, and the American songbook is so beautiful and varied, and there's so many styles that came from.
Yeah.
I mean, the melting pot we have as a people is exactly true with the music, you know, and this is kind of where it all hybrided. As no words, just made it up. But
Hybrided.
But hybrided, yeah. It, kind of
Hybrided.
it migrated and hybrided all into this.
Yeah.
Kind of like New Orleans. But before we go, I wanted to thank Alert the Globe also for helping
Yeah.
us broadcast this.
Yeah.
It's just another platform that has been very good to us, and thank you, Laurie, for reminding me.
Yeah.
And appreciate it, Ron, and we look forward to doing
Yeah.
more work with them. So between Alert the Globe and Facebook Live
And YouTube. You can find us everywhere.
yeah.
And Jack Williams, thank you for being
Thank
our
you.
guest this week.
I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
It's
absolutely, Jack.
our
And we
pleasure.
look forward to seeing you down the line. And what's it? What the website is?
JackWilliamsMusic.com. Also
And-
go to Patreon.com. Jack
Yeah,
Williams.
you need some patrons, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Patreon is very cool. And I'd love for you to follow Freebo here on his Facebook page, and there's my info too. And thank you, Norms. Thanks, everybody.
Are you doing any online things coming up that you might want to promo
Oh, yeah.
here, Jack?
Yes, I don't have that information in front of me, but you can find it out at JackWilliamsMusic.com. Every time I'm going to do something, I post it there.
That's great.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
all
I do have
and Facebook, yeah. But,
Yes.
But I'm sure you
I-
made some new fans tonight, people who never
yeah.
heard of you
I
or
hope
heard
so.
you before. So
I think
I'm sorry I couldn't see you out there, but I could hear you breathing.
they were there.
Yes.
They were there.
All right. Bye, Jack.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Love to Judy. Thank you for your help, Judy.
Yeah, thanks, Judy.
Love to you both.
Love to you.